Thank you so much for coming. I had a little panic that nobody was going to come. As you do before a big party at 8 in the morning. So I'm going to try to stay focused on my topic. I have had a lot of jobs in my big life. And probably most significantly before I did what I'm doing now, I produced music videos and commercials and short films and stuff for very talented, do I need this? Maybe I do need this. Directors like Spike Jonze and Mike Mills and Roman Coppola, and it was a great job, and I bought a house and got to travel a lot, and it was a very, very exciting job. But it wasn't entirely satisfying to me. I had gone to art school. I was a pretty creative person, and the producing job was great, but it ran its course for certain. While I was doing that, I always did this thing that I've always done my entire life, which is make crazy cakes for people's birthday, have a crazy theme party. That was always something that I did from when I was really, really little, and it gave me joy. So when I decided to quit my job, at that point I was executive producing at a production company. It didn't make any sense. I was like, I'm jumping out of the window here, and I think I'm going to make some Jell-O. There was no business plan. There was no kind of person I was following or path that I thought would be a good one. I just really needed to get back in touch with what I loved to do, and it was what I loved to do when I was a little kid. So that's what I'm going to try to talk about today. Kind of re-tapping into something deep inside of you that makes you happy. And I think this can be a really abstract notion. For me, it's kind of a direct path. But anyway, here's my hero. I love him very much, and I walked down the aisle when I got married to Pure Imagination, which is the song from. It's a deep, I'm not kidding. I think about him a lot. I kind of have been known to dress like him. I love him. This is me when I was little, and it's a little proof of my what I'm talking about. The first one is I'm building an Easter nest for the Easter bunny, out of Spanish moss and flowers, and I go deep on the holidays. I make up holidays. I want to do a calendar where every day is a holiday. I go deep. The second one is obviously not fall because I'm in shorts, but I love Halloween. I also got married on Halloween. So walk down the aisle with the Willy Wonka song on Halloween. So that's who you're listening to right now. And that's me with braces with a Miss Piggy cake. So maybe a bit of, I had a Jaws cake, that's a little bit of the future. While I was still producing, I made this book at the Kinkos, Occasional Baking. And it had the first recipe that I did for Jell-O aquarium. It's got a bunch of really crazy nonsense in it, but it was made at the Kinkos. I did the drawings. I laid it out. It was very simple to do. I just did it because I wanted to do it. At this point, it was in a few stores and a few magazines wrote about it, believe it or not. But they were for kids magazines. And I always thought I was doing stuff for my weird friends, but at this point I sort of realized that maybe it was for kids, and that was really exciting to me to think about talking to kids. I didn't have kids at the time. I was in my 20s, and it was fun to think about doing stuff for kids. More stuff that I did while I was still producing. This was all on the side. This was late night. I had a show of Crocheted Food. So just to show, like, I was always thinking about the design of food and making things out of non-edible things that looked like food. Like, it was a deep obsession that was happening that had no sort of monetary. I had quit at this point. Quit the job, got a job doing a column in Tokion magazine, which, I don't know, it was a pop culture magazine. I did a food column called Mad Flavas, and it was really fun and felt kind of official, you know, to have a column. And this was for their Heroes issue. Jane Goodall's my hero. But it was starting to happen, and this is my first book. So I quit the job. I did a website called YummyFun.com that was like animated versions of some of my recipes, and lo and behold, a book packaging company came to me and said, do you want to do a book for kids? It was happening, and I mean, nobody knew what I was doing. My mom, I couldn't even talk to my mom because she was so worried about me having quit my big job and making Jell-O at home. But stuff was starting to happen, and this was very, very exciting. Like, it came to me because I was pouring myself into this strange thing. So this is the first book I did. It was really fun. I hired a architectural photographer to shoot the pictures because I didn't want it to look like a cookbook. And we shot everything in my house at the time, and I wanted it to be like all these things kind of, spaghetti and eyeballs? All these things kind of exist in the world if you have the magical eyes to see them. So these are all a little pale. Those are candy bugs. This is a picture that didn't make the cut. It's finger cookies, and the publisher thought it was really upsetting. And they thought like kids would put nail polish on their cookies and that would be bad. So we ended up shooting them on a piano, but I love that picture. There was also another picture, which I should have shown too, of the finger cookies on a paper cutter. That one didn't make it either. But maybe for the Halloween book. This is my second book, and with the first book, this is amusing at this point in the world. They were like, it's got too many cupcakes in it. Your book has too many cupcakes. This was in 2000, before there were cupcakes everywhere. And I was like, too many cupcakes? Like, how could that be? Like, that's ridiculous. So when it came time for me to do a second book, I was like, all cupcakes. How about that? So this was 2004. It was right before there were many, many cupcake books, but this was super fun for me. I was just seeing cupcakes in everything I saw. Like, I had hundreds of ideas of different cupcakes. Crop circles, clocks, as you can see, aspirin cupcakes. You can't see the detail. Nice in the morning. And that's a ball of yarn, which kind of, I always think like, oh, that's tying a lot of things I love together. But the cupcake book did really well. It was really fun to do. It's still selling well because cupcakes are still being thrown around. And the books were super fun. The publishers let me do what I wanted to do, and they felt pretty free, let me hire who I wanted to hire work with me, and it was great. But what I really, really wanted to do, oh look, there's one more. That's a Cupcake Village in my backyard. There's a little outhouse. You can barely see it, but next to the one in the back, the brown one, there's a little brown outhouse. It's a detail. So the cupcake book, but what I really wanted to do was a TV show, a kids show. I had big ideas. And I had been an animator at CalArts and loved that. So the cooking show had been something brewing in my head for a long time. And it never seemed like the right time. I met with lots of people that wanted to do TV shows with me, but nobody wanted to go as far as I wanted to go with the show. The Food Network offered me a show, but they were like, you're gonna be in a kitchen, you know, like all our other Food Network people, and I was like, no, I wanna be with a band, and I wanna be a character, and I wanna have puppets, and I wanna have animation, and I want, like, a big bear comes in, and I want, you know, like, I wanted it to be a fantasy, and nobody wanted to do that. I don't know why, but it just wouldn't go away. I kept thinking, like, the world's not ready for this. I should just keep doing the books. That's exciting. And the world lets me do that. But I couldn't, you know, I couldn't really shake this want to do the show. So I gathered my friends that had done music videos and commercials with me and who had been hearing me talk about this show for so long. And my husband's a very talented production designer, and we built a set in the garage in Silver Lake and shot 3 episodes of the YummyFun cooking series. And it was really fun to do and really hard. Should we show? Oh, maybe at the end. This is, that's me as Yummy Clare. And the sort of premise for the show, which there are 2 people that have seen the show sitting in the front, I think. Very glad they're here. They can tell you all about it. Is that I'm a little tiny person, like the size of a mouse, and I live in a 13-year-old girl's kitchen, like in a mouse hole. And she doesn't know about me. I wake up in the middle of the night and kind of respond to her day, making dishes that, like, so if she was like reading a book about monkeys that day, I wake up and I'm like, I want to make a bunch of recipes, you know, primate recipes. And I have like adventures in my little world, and then everything shuts down before she wakes up. So, lunatic up here. But I got to do it exactly how I wanted to do it, and there wasn't anybody paying for it or anybody, you know, kind of telling me it needed to be a certain way. So it was very fun to do and really hard. That's the cover of the monkeying around in the kitchen one. These are, there's a great band in it called the Taste Buds, and it's John Gold, who usually writes songs about girls and hearts and stuff. I made him do the music, and it's really, really good. So a funny thing is, since it's in a 2-car garage, everybody in the show had to be like 5 feet or under, pretty much. And like the DP is this very tiny lady, and like everybody that worked on it was kind of small. So Safari Jeff, who's on the right, who's in one of the episodes, was way too big and didn't really fit in the set. And I had some trouble. But that's the dance party at the end of the episode. That's Manny, who's my landlord in the wall of the kitchen. And the set's really cool because it sort of unfolds. So the bottom is me like pulling out the oven. You know, you pull out the range and everything kind of unfolds. Like I open it up every episode. Candy bugs, which you saw in the book, make an appearance and they come to life. This is Green Charlotte, who swallows seeds and grows vines and produce out of her ears. So I go to her little world, her little garden, to get fresh vegetables and candy. She's growing a candy tree in her little diorama of a garden, and that's where I get the candy to make the candy bugs. That's John Gold being amazing. That's the big bear I was telling you about, because my neighbor Michelle Madden had a bear suit, so she got the role. That's Safari Jeff. He's rescuing these monkey pups. One of them has gone rogue, in the kitchen. It's very dramatic and worrisome. Now it's for rent. I love this picture. Somebody just sent me this. It's from Video Journeys. They rent the episodes, but the episodes are for sale at the Hammer Museum, and they're at the New Museum in New York and the Whitney, and I'm very proud. They're at the Marc Jacobs store. They're in weird places, and but you know, it was a good thing to do. And the Cooking Club was attached to the show a little bit. It was a subscription in the mail, and you could sign up for it. It's sold out right now. I've had many, many subscribers. You sign up, and I send you a recipe box and a spoon and buttons and stickers and everything. And then every month I send you 3 recipes in the mail. In the mail, not in the email, in the mail with a stamp, your name on it. And this sort of taps back, let me get refocused right now. It taps back into, I love sending mail, and I love getting mail, and I love stamps, and I've always loved that. So this was like another, like, okay, tap into what I love, because this is going to be hard to do. It's going to be a pain. I'm going to have to lick a lot of envelopes. I'm going to have to get an intern. I'm going to have to that, you know, like, but it's what I love to do. So, you know, it's not going to feel brutal like my old job, because I love to do it at the base of it. So another example of that. This is my kind of pretend bakery that I have called Treat Street. And I don't do it that much anymore because there seem to be lots of mobile eating things, but it was sort of set up to be like Lucy's psychiatry stand in the Peanuts, and we even had ideas like maybe we could have Lucy stand next to us, and so you could get a cookie and then you could have a little session. Like, but we would set up in secret spots in Silver Lake, and we wouldn't tell anybody we were going to do it, and then you'd see these signs that had arrows and cookies, and you would follow them and you would find us. And it was really fun, and it kind of went back to, like, we'd have a theme for every Treat Street, and you know, me always going back to when I was little and it was fun. Here's 2 examples of that: Kiss cookies and Jaws cookies. Yeah, always sort of tapping into that. Here is the fancy version of YummyFun. So I kind of hoodwinked a big company, Fremantle Media, which is a big, giant production company, into helping me with YummyFun. And we just shot 13 little episodes, and we moved out of the garage, and I cried a lot. But we moved onto a stage, and we got John C. Reilly to be a really weird character in it, and he's really funny. And I got a new dress and stuff. Somebody did my hair. But it was really, 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 really fun and really wild to feel the thing that I had made, you know, just like with my hands, sort of turn into a bigger thing. This is me and my family on the set of the new YummyFun. It's a big old set. You can hire big people to work on it. And that's my husband who built the set, who works on big movies, and very lucky to be married to him for many reasons. And that's my little daughter, who, like, you know, everybody kind of said, oh, you have a kid now, I don't know, you're gonna be so tired. But in fact, like, I have done so much more now that she's around. That's me kind of looking like Dolly Parton in one of the episodes. But it was really great, and I wish that I could show you one of the new ones, but they probably will be out there soon. So now big companies hire me to do the weird thing that I was doing in my house years ago. I did a vegetable book this year for a brand, an all-vegetable book, and they were like, just make it look like, you know, your stuff, like what your other books and stuff. And I was like, wow, really? Like you really, you know, but lo and behold, like, you know, molecular Brussels sprouts are in the book. So I do some spokesperson stuff now for brands like, you know, Betty Crocker and Duncan Hines and all kinds of people, and they really let me be who I am, and they're not trying to, you know, I mean, of course I have to talk about their stuff, but they want me to be me, which is very nice feeling. A couple of other jobs that come up that I was trying to focus my theme on. This is the diorama at the Ace Hotel in Palm Springs that's in the lobby. That's my friend in front of it. But this was a job that came up that was based on the fact that I had a diorama club a long time ago. This design firm called Commune called me and said, you know, we heard that you had a diorama club, which consisted of me and a bunch of friends, like literally making things in shoeboxes like you did in 3rd grade, as fun. And they hired me to do the diorama in their hotel. So it, you know, always going back to 3rd grade. So I've taught workshops. I teach a lot of kids cooking workshops. This was a desert diorama workshop that I did at the Ace. You know, it was really fun. Some other jobs, that's Beck. Beck's management company hired me to do a few portraits of him in food because he didn't want to have his picture taken, so they wanted some food portraits that they could use for press. So that's Beck in a bed, and on the left is these directors, Dayton and Ferris, who have a movie out right now called Ruby Sparks. This is a good idea. When you have kids, this is a good idea. They hire a different artist to make a family portrait of them every year. And they've had people do puppets and songs and sculptures and all kinds of crazy stuff. And they got me one year to do their family in food. And so I had the photographer that I work with take this picture in their bed, because at that time their kids were really little and would always get in the big bed together, and they have a big print of this. There's Beck as a cupcake. That was a long time ago. And on the left is, it's a keyboard cake that was on Yo Gabba Gabba. They did a segment called Food Not Food, which I art directed, clearly. And as I'm the queen of Food Not Food. And that was another fun job. This was an art show I had years ago that was like all big, giant cupcakes, and it was kind of this Teletubby world. And the little things that you see hanging are like this flock of flying cupcakes that like flew through the space. This is something I did last year, or maybe it's 2 years ago now, with Heath Ceramics. We collaborated. I used their ceramics to make this kind of New Orleans feast. It was Mardi Gras, so we had a big Mardi Gras party, and I made, you know, I crocheted raw oysters and stuff. It was really fun. It's, yeah, look. Okay, look, that's the end. Basically, it's what I'm trying to like show you about my path, which seems, I mean, I know a lot of people probably do it, but I feel like for me, tapping into that thing that made me happy and made me excited, which was the same thing that made me excited when I was really little, that was what was important to me. And it took a lot of work. Like, I'm all like, it was so fun, because it's fun to see the pictures, but it is incredibly challenging to try to make a path for yourself that's, you know, that you're forging. But at the end of the day, it's so satisfying. And I know I'm really lucky that I've made a job out of it, and I know that I would still be doing it even if I had to do it after hours, you know, and I had to keep my old job, I know that that is true. But I feel like if you breathe into the thing that you really care about, then it's going to come to life, even if it doesn't make any sense. You know, I spoke to a bunch of Girl Scouts once, and they were like furiously like taking notes. They had so many questions. They were like, really? Like we can, you know, like I love horses. Like I can really make a job out of that. And it's like, I mean, you might change, of course. Like people change, and you like different things, but there are, and so maybe this is an abstract idea to tap into the thing that made you happy your whole life. I mean, I'm exactly the same as I was when I was little, for the most part, you know, like my joys and what I'm good at are kind of what I was good at when I was little. So I think like I always go back to that, you know, when I'm trying to do a new thing. I don't feel like it's, I mean, I know I showed the Jaws thing and everything. It's like, it's not always about nostalgia, you know, like the mail thing, like that, you don't understand how much I love the mail. Like going back to that, like, and maybe that means I'm going to be in charge of my shipping department, even though that doesn't make any sense. But like, you know, like touching that is, I think that's a good thing to think about as a creative person or somebody that's trying to do creative things. So anyway. Ta-da!